Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Sensational Support Podcast. This is episode 4. No, I lie. This is episode 3 officially, and we are still looking at communication and social interaction, but we are looking at it for the ages of 9 to 12 months in this episode. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so if you have seen previous episodes, you know that I am looking at communication and social interaction through the ages and stages of early years development. I'm looking a little bit at attachment. We talk about what to expect, so what you should be expecting from early years development, what the differences may be, and what the impact is. What to expect. Okay, so from 9 to 12 months, with our social behavior and play, at 9 months, the infant will be using what we call referential gaze. They would look at something, and then they would look at the adult, and then look back at that thing. So with their eyes, they're guiding the adult's attention to something that they are interested in. They show a casual understanding and a means to an end relations. That is to say, they understand that if they do something, it gets a response. If they need something and they do something, it gets that thing to them. The infant will be babbling tunefully and communicatively. So you'll hear the babble and you will understand what that babble stands for. There will be a change in the tones, so you'll know whether they're upset, whether they're annoyed, whether they're happy to see you. Their babble is communicative at 9 months. The infant is able to clearly identify familiar adults from strangers, and they will need reassurance before they begin to engage with people that they don't know. They will cling to the person that they do know and really not want to engage with this person that is totally unfamiliar to them. That begins to appear from 7 months. We spoke about this cling in our previous episode in relation to attachment. The infant begins to play people games, such as peekaboo. The infant will throw themselves back or stiffen in annoyance and resistance, usually protesting vocally at the same time. They're still taking everything to their mouth. They still need to explore with the area of their body that is the most sensitive, and that is their tongue and their lips. They haven't quite gotten to the point where they're able to receive messages from just their fingers alone. It's not enough. They will receive much more information from the most sensitive part, which is, as I said, their tongue and their lips. They will grasp a bell by its handle and they will shake it to copy what they've seen their adult do. They're shaking it with intention for it to make that sound. They'll shake the rattle, explore it, and throw it to the floor. It's all part of their exploration. What's going to happen when it hits the floor? As we've said, they will play peekaboo, and they'll also join in with some hand clapping games. They will offer food to family members and to family pets. They'll grasp a toy in their hand and they will reach towards an adult to give it to them. But they won't be able yet to release that toy into the adult's hand. Releasing an object into a hand or a container is actually a skill that needs to be acquired. Last but not least, in social interaction and play, they will definitely be showing and offering objects to adults and to other children to try and gain some kind of interaction from them. They can watch a toy being partially hidden under a cloth or under a cup, and they can actively seek out that thing. Remember, it's partially hidden, so they can see a bit of it hanging out, and they know that that's where it is, and they'll go and they'll grab it up real quick and give it to you, probably with a laugh like, look, I found it. They may even, if this game is something that's played often enough, they may even begin to find that object even when it's totally undercover. So they can see no sign of it, but they know it's there. They still know that it exists. Okay, 9 to 12 months, speech and language and communication. The infant will deliberately be making sounds in a very communicative way. You will be able to detect friendliness, and you will definitely be able to detect complete annoyance by this time. They will shout to attract your attention. They'll listen, and then they'll shout again. You will hear the infant babbling loudly, top of their voice, strings of babble. Aga, 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 aga. Abba, 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 abba. And conversationally, babble is practiced even when they're on their own. So if they're in a different room, in their cot, maybe toddling around the living room while you've quickly gone to get something from the kitchen or the bathroom, you take a toilet break, you will hear the infant babbling tunefully and practicing these babbles to themselves, practicing the tones. You'll hear them giggling to themselves while they're doing this. Definitely between 6 to 10 months, the infant would have started responding to their name. They are able to gaze switch, so they can look from adult to object and back again whilst they're playing. They understand no. So, once a child starts crawling and they're into everything and they're touching, and usually crawling is between 8 to 9 months, yeah, you will be using that word no often, because you'll see them reaching for things that they shouldn't be touching or could be harmful to them. So no is a word that they understand from the age of 9 months. Also, 6 to 9 months, they understand bye-bye. They will react to, where's mummy? Where's daddy? By looking around. They imitate playful sounds like smacking their lips or clicking the tongue. They like to hear those sounds. Okay, let's have a think about what the differences might look like and what the impact is for them and for you as their parent or carer. The infant may babble a sound, dada, mama, just once. They may babble some sounds and then you don't hear it again for weeks or months later. It's very inconsistent. There is no intentional gesturing, so no pointing, no looking from one object to the adult and back again in reference. And the eye gaze isn't used to either gain the adult's attention or to maintain the adult's attention. The impact, typically this is the age, 9 to 12 months, where the infant's personality begins to establish itself. It is the time when extended family members really want to engage with the infant. They want to, engage in tickle games, and they want to speaking silly voices and silly tones, and they want to toss the baby up and, engage in that kind of play. And oftentimes it's very difficult for the infant to engage in these kind of activities. So around about this time, some family members will begin to notice the differences, and they will not really try to engage. They're not the child that everyone gravitates to. Once again, as I've said in previous episodes, any one of these differences would lead to an exploration of hearing loss, possible vision loss. There may be some thoughts about syndromes that are not facially or physically apparent. There may be a need to explore any one of these things with individual presentations of differences. Yeah. However, if you see a cluster of these differences together, because we are looking specifically at speech, language, communication, social interaction, as the infant grows older, then we can have a think about the different services that you may be able to access in order to support your child. Okay? All right. I hope that was helpful and useful. And in the next episode, we're going to be looking at 12 to 18 months. So the same area of development, but for 12 to 18 months. All right. I'll see you soon.